swing and a drive. Right field and deep. Back goes Aquino. It's got a chance. Gone. Get out the tape measure. Long gone.
Fly the W!
Cubs fans, it's time to fly the W with Dustin Rhodes and Paul Crawley-Jean.
All right, Crawley, this is episode 30. The first weekend of spring training games are in the book. You're listening to the Fly the W podcast. We're proud to be part of the Blue Wire Network. Don't forget to listen, download, subscribe, most importantly, review the podcast. Follow us on all the socials. You can check me out. I'm at Mullion Haw on X.
And you can follow me at Crawley's Cubs on X, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Crawley's Clubhouse on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. And you can email us at crawleysclubhouse@gmail.com.
So Chicago
Dustin,
Cubs baseball, Crawley, is on the air. 104.3 FM quality, buddy.
Yeah, after months of waiting, we finally have games to talk about. How'd it go this weekend? We'll get caught up a little bit with the good, the bad, the ugly of everything right here. Dustin, game one, the White Sox beat the Cubs 8-1. Again, we're not going to overreact to anything that happens in spring
I'll try not
training.
to. I'll try not
No.
I'm trying to get better. I should have given that up for Lent. I should have given up getting wound up about Cubs baseball in preseason for Lent.
Yeah, there's not much to really kind of get upset about here. I mean, how about this, right? The good. Seiya Suzuki hits a solo home run. Here's Zach Zaidman in that 104.3 quality.
Now Cannon delivers, and Suzuki hits a high fly ball deep left center field, going back hill at the track near the wall, leaps, and it's gone! Seiya Suzuki ties up the game. Solo shot left center field. 1-1 Cubs and White Sox here in the last of the first.
399 feet. Exit velocity 103.7. So that was good to see that out of Seiya. You know, I mean, we're going to talk later on predictions, but you know, how many home runs is the guy going to hit? He hit over 30 last season. Can he do it again? Good start with his first at bat. Reliever Gavin Hollowell. He was up and down with the team last year. He struck out the side. He looked good. And then this is a guy, this is why you watch these spring training games. Prospect Grant Kipp comes into the game, bases are loaded, 1 out. He gets an inning-ending double play, and then he pitches a scoreless 5th inning. I mean, there's your feet to the fire, right? Like, bases loaded, 1 out, here you go. Unbelievable.
Hey, listen, high leverage, you know, spring training's version of high leverage, right?
Yeah. The bad, unfortunately, Porter Hodge came into the game and proceeded to walk 4 of the 6 batters he faced. He did get 1 strikeout, you know, and again, when you're out in the desert, sometimes that desert air does funky things to the baseballs. Pitchers have to adjust, but you know, Porter knows
working on though. When you walk 4 guys, that's not good.
No, it is clearly not good. And so hopefully, luckily today, he kind of had a nice bounce back that we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. The ugly with the bases loaded and 1 out and Porter Hodge on the mound after walking the bases loaded. White Sox sensation Munetaka Murakami hits 1 to center. Seiya Suzuki, we talked about this. We're like, oh boy, he's only doing it because he's doing it for Team Japan. If he plays center field for the Cubs, there's a real big problem. He loses the ball in the sun. He allows 2 runs to score. I mean, that was the thing we were going to be looking for, right?
You were looking for that, and you were looking for Shaw out in right field, right?
100%. And you know, he kind of took some routes that kind of looked like I did after a few beer bats at the berm at Sloan Park. But you know, that was another ugly thing. He didn't make any terrible mistakes, but it's the thing, Dustin. It's learning routes. And when you watch a guy like PCA out in center field, like he's where the ball is, just like a blink of the eye. Whereas when you look at a guy like Matt Shaw, who's not a natural outfielder, he's taking weird routes to get to balls. The other ugly starter, Jamison Tyone, pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 home runs, a walk, and a K. Maybe it's a good thing JMO was off social media for a little bit. But hey, you know, again, nobody's panicking, right?
Not yet.
Now, game 2 on Saturday, and how cool is it to have it both on Marquee and the Score? Loved having both of that, but Texas beat the Cubs 3-2. The good, couple of young prospects look really good. Infielder Pedro Ramirez drew a walk. hit a single, stole 2 bases, and scored a run. Jefferson Rojas was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. He had an RBI single and grounded out to score another run. Remember when the Cubs made the trade to get Edward Cabrera, one of the names in there was Christian Hernandez. And the reason Christian Hernandez was made available was the emergence of Jefferson Rojas. So, he's kind of living up to the hype a little bit. Pedro Ramirez, watch that battle between Pedro Ramirez and James Triantos. Both of them have a lot of very similar skill sets. You're not going to keep both of them. One of them will be involved in a trade at one point in time, but it's a fun kind of little battle to watch throughout there. But he, again, had a good game. Daniel Palencia, the closer, Mr. Gasolina, 1-2-3 inning, 1K, no hits, already throwing in the upper 90s, Dust, and he doesn't have to get warmed up. And one guy that I truly am rooting for and had a really good outing, Luke Little, pitched a scoreless inning. Matt Shaw was 1 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. The bad, top of the 4th, Mark Canha grounds out to Jefferson Rojas. The throw takes first baseman Jonathan Long into the running lane. He has to leave the game with an elbow strain. What do we say, Dustin? All we wanted was health, right? Just come out of there healthy. Jonathan Long is one of the Cubs' top prospects. He was the Buck O'Neil Minor League Player of the Year in 2025. He was supposed to leave today, Dustin, to go to play for Chinese Taipei in the World Baseball Classic. I haven't heard anything about that recently. Have you?
I have not heard any update on his well-being, I guess.
Okay. All right. And the ugly in this game, Hobie Milner made his Cub debut. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 Ks. He gave up a couple singles and a double to Sam Haggerty, who scored all 3 of the Rangers' run. But
and that's that's the bad news,
just,
right? This is Milner's first debut, as you said. That just, again, it's not a real game, but you're hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, and like I said, I've seen guys that have looked like the greatest things ever in spring training, and they're duds when it starts in Chicago.
Good point. Very good point, Crawley. Very good point.
I'm sitting here, like I said, just kind of enjoying watching baseball, and luckily because of MLB Network, it was the game of the week on Sunday, Cubs versus Giants. The Giants beat the Cubs 3-2, Dustin, and so the Cubs start off 0-3. But Miguel Amaya, how about this? 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, right?
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Dylan Carlson, we're going to talk more about him in segment 3. He was 2 for 2 with the walk. Matt Shaw was 1 for 2 with a walk and stolen base. And Dustin, I love his approach to the plate when you're looking at that swing and that swing change. That is really impressive from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, he made good contact, and he had a good eye.
He's hitting the ball hard, and he's on time. That's the thing. When you have that high leg kick, the way that he used to have it, when you're facing major league pitchers, you're going to be tardy. And so when you're tardy, then all of a sudden you're trying to you're trying to then get ahead of your swing, and that's where you run into trouble with the off spin. You're already off speed pitches. You're committed to a fastball, right? Because you're trying to catch up to it. Now all of a sudden it's some sort of bender, some sort of slider, and now you slow down your swing and it creates swings. Looked really good. Say it for Ed Cub Ryan gave up on 2 hit and walk, 2K and 2/3. Really is a guy that you feel he is going to help you in the season. He's one of those guys that could be called up. Another bad, the Cubs had 2 base runners thrown out at home in the 6th inning. With 1 out, Brett Bateman was thrown out at home. Center fielder Grant McCray misplayed a ball off the bat by Miguel Amaya. Bateman tries to score from first, but was thrown out at home. Amaya ends up at second at least. Then Kane Kepley comes in to pinch run for Amaya. He steals third. Chas McCormick hits one to foul ground in right field. Jung Hoo Lee makes a great catch and throws out Kepley at home. Dustin, these are the base running things that you look at and you say, 2 base runners thrown out in 1 inning at home plate. That can't happen. Yeah. And then Dustin, we got to get to the ugly because this was ugly. A triple play.
Game. Here's the pitch now. There's a fly ball into shallow right center field. That's going to fall beyond anybody for a base hit. And the Cubs have 2 runners at third. Here goes the throw to second. Now the runner slides in there. He's out. Now they got 2 runners at third. This is going to turn into a double play, or maybe even a triple play. Going over to third, there were 2 guys on base. And the backup runner who got tagged first is the guy who's going to be called out. And now the runner at third leaves the base, and he's going to be tagged out. It's a triple play to end the inning. Oh, wow. Matt Shaw made a boneheaded rookie mistake there. They both got tagged. Bregman was the guy who got called out.
Wow, John Miller poking a little fun at Matt Shaw. Okay.
It was a boneheaded play, Dustin. It was a boneheaded play.
Yeah, it takes me back, though, hearing John Miller on the call. You know, he used to be, for some of you younger listeners out there, he used to be the Sunday Night Baseball guy on the 4-letter network, him and Joe Morgan, right?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, Dustin, as somebody that teaches media and all that stuff, I mean, look, we always would love to hear a Cubs broadcast, but sometimes it's fun to hear a guy like John Miller, and we don't get to hear him every day, and he is a Hall of Famer. I mean, he is a talented
really good broadcaster. I still, you know, again, I'm sure it's money at the end of the day, but you know, we've talked about what it costs to have marquee, and you got to have apps, and you got to have this, and you got to have that. I'm just surprised. Like today, there was a game today that we're going to talk about. That game was not available, right? Game was
nowhere.
Was it available like on Cubs.com? Was it available?
It was
anywhere?
available nowhere.
I don't understand that. If you're the Marquee Sports Network and you are the home of Cubs baseball, isn't that the whole point of like Marquee? Like, and here's the other thing. I should have done better homework. I had stuff going on. Like, I wonder what was on Marquee this afternoon when that game was live. I mean,
my guess is like girls volleyball or something, like, you know, like St. Rita's football.
Yeah. Did you happen to see? So speaking of that, immediately after the Cubs lose to the White Sox on Friday, it wasn't even Illinois. It was like Indiana high school wrestling, multi-screen, like watching 5 mats of Indiana high school wrestlers. I'm like, what is going on? Rewind the game for somebody that works like normal hours and run the game back again.
Or have some post-game show, right? And have a little post-game action. But, you know, that triple play was bizarre. You know, that whole thing. Seiya Suzuki singles, throw comes in. It's a good throw. It's cut off. And so, you know, for whatever reason, Shaw doesn't go home. I don't know if he was held up. And then Bregman is kind of caught in between second and third. Suzuki's thrown out at second when the throw at home is cut off. And now Bregman's stuck at third. That's the double play. You got 2 guys standing at third. And then Shaw hears the out. I don't know if he just thought he was out or assumed the inning was over and miscounted the outs. He just walks away from third, and that's the third out. That's the triple play. I don't even know how it was scored. I got to double check, but my God, Dustin, that was boneheaded. And again,
play.
I'm sure that, you know, there's going to be talk there. That takes us to the game today, Monday. The Cubs finally fly the W, 3-2. The good. How about Ben Brown? He makes his start. He gave up 2 hits in 2 innings, struck out 3, didn't walk a batter, Dustin. And that's what you like to see, right?
That's huge. Control, right? Control. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is we know he has the fastball. We know he has the knuckle curve, but now he's kind of starting to throw some sinkers in there. And so that the issue with Ben Brown was, will he have a third pitch? Right? Will he have something else? Because basically you're sitting on 2 pitches. Now his pitches have a lot of movement and they're very good, but that's really hard as a starter because eventually they're going to start timing it up. So if he has something else to throw the timing of the hitters off, that's going to be a big deal. We know Javier Assad was injured a lot last season. He pitched an inning and a third, scoreless innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 1, no walk. Porter Hodge, we talked about it. He walked like 3 or 4 guys the first time, bounced back. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 walk, but also had 2 Ks. So good to see that from Porter Hodge. Couple infield prospects that we talked about earlier. Jefferson Ramirez hit a solo home run, 413 feet, 107.5 miles off the bat. Pedro Ramirez, 2 for 3 with a single and double. And the guy I told you he's competing with, James Triantos, hit a bases loaded 2-run single. And so it was the young guys that put up the 3-run, the home run by Jefferson Ramirez and James Trianto with that 2-run single. The bad PCA 0 for 2 with the walk, making him 0 for 5 on the weekend, but we're not hitting the panic button. The ugly, Dustin, like you said, no radio or TV broadcast. I don't want to watch Indiana wrestling. I want Cubs baseball. And again, I'd love it if like you brought it up last time, Marquee and the Score are, they work hand in hand with each other. Right. It'd be great to just kind of just divvy it up and make sure that there's some way we can catch the game some way or another. That's what we want to watch.
No, like off the top of my head, I don't think Cubs baseball returns to 104.3 on the FM side until March the 6th. And I think that's also going to be Pat Hughes' first day.
We don't have a game, Dustin, until March 1st is the next marquee game. This is February 23rd.
No,
March.
That's not right. I got to wonder if like Cubs.com is going to put something up.
I'm looking at it right here. Six games we're not going to be able to have any kind of watch at all. So yeah, and then like you said, the Score March 7th and March 8th, the Score will be broadcasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday, Sunday then.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. But Dustin, there's Cub fans that want to watch Cub baseball. What better way to get them excited than to show the product? The fans want to see it, and hopefully something gets figured out sooner rather than later.
You are listening to the Fly the W podcast, part of the Blue Wire Network. It is episode 340. The first weekend of spring training games are in the books. Don't forget to listen, download, review, and subscribe to the Fly the W podcast, 5-star reviews. We will take them. We will also take your emails at crawleysclubhouse@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can watch us. Some of you might be doing that right now. Crawley's Clubhouse on the YouTube page. In this segment, Crawley talks to Cubs fan and Arizona resident Steve Scher to give you all the tips you need to enjoy Sloan Park and other spring training facilities in Arizona if you want to catch Cubs games on the road. You are listening to the Fly the W podcast, part of the Blue Wire Network. This is episode 340. The first weekend of spring training games are in the books. 5-star review, we'll take them. Comments, we'll take those as well. Crawley's Clubhouse @gmail.com. You want to watch us? Do it. Crawley's Clubhouse on YouTube page. But what we really need you to do is to listen, to download, to review, and subscribe to the Fly the W podcast on the Blue Wire Network. Okay, how about a little Cubs news? I was getting a little worried about this. One of these guys, Moises Ballesteros, Crawley, finally in camp. You want to start there?
You were worried about Mo Baller. Look at him. Look at him right there. Mo Baller is in town. He is back. It was a delay. And I want to put this up so people understand this. This is from our guy, Bruce Levine, 670 The Score, Marquee Network. Cubs Moises Ballesteros reports after difficult visa issues sent him from Venezuela to Colombia to the United States. Needing new documentation held up the process for 2 months. And Dustin, I think people were like, how did he not have his paperwork ready? It wasn't like it was a week ago that he applied for this stuff. This is 2 months ago. There's a lot of issues going on in Venezuela that have nothing to do with baseball. And so I'm just glad.
I can't imagine why they don't want to help out.
I'm just glad he's here. He's safe and he's going to be fine. He's going to get his at-bats in plenty of time. He's going to be catching. He's going to be playing first base. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for him and he'll be DHing. So no worry about Mo Baller.
Now somebody else, Crawley, who might be DHing, right? Michael Conforto woke up to a John Heyman text message at about 2:00. So he beat me by about 25 minutes when I got up this morning.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And here's the thing. It's seeing Michael Conforto just adds another outfielder in that fourth outfielder spot mix. That's kind of what we're looking at here, right? The financials, it's a minor league contract. We know that. Conforto's 32. He just hit 199 with the Dodgers last season. Wasn't a great pairing, but he had an all-star nod in 2017, a 33 home run season in 2019. He's going to be competing with.
Yeah, this is no risk, right? This is no risk. If anything, it's almost like the guy's a camp outfielder with Suzuki taking off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you got Suzuki and you got PCA taking off a couple weeks.
Right,
There's
right.
opportunity for these guys to compete, and you're gonna be able to see them.
Mhm.
You're gonna have Dylan Carlson,
Put a
Chaz
little good
McCormick.
tape on. Put a little good tape on yourself, right? Yep.
Yeah, Chaz McCormick and Justin Dean. So you got 4 guys now, where you got Conforto, Carlson, McCormick, and Dean for that final outfield spot. Who's going to take it, right? So a lot of these guys can play all 3 outfield spots. I've been watching this here. Justin Dean so far, and we're going to keep looking at this. He was 1 for 9. Chaz McCormick 1 for 5, and Dylan Carlson 2 for 3. Too small of a sample size. Nobody's going to go crazy over anything like that. But these are the guys. Every at bat here counts because you're trying to turn heads. And hopefully, like you said, a couple of these guys aren't going to make it. And if they're not made it, then they're going to be released. They're going to have an opportunity to catch on somewhere else. And like you said, you want to get some good film on yourself and see what happens. Dustin, this weekend we got to see a lot of the ABS. What did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was very interesting. I know Matt Shaw successfully challenged, and I got to say it was about 4 inches out of the zone, so it was almost like an easy.
Well, let's hear how this works right here. Let's hear it.
delivers. It's a call, 3rd strike. Guess what we're going to have? Another challenge. Shaw was right.
Matt Shaw was right.
Best part about it, fans starting to get into the challenges.
I love it, Dustin. I know there were some glitches and whatever. And if you take a look, Dustin, it was actually pretty close. You know what I mean? But that let's talk about that sequence right there. That was a 2-2 pitch.
Yep.
And he was called out. He challenges 3-2 and he works the walk.
Yep.
I mean, that means nothing now, but these are the things you're going to want to think about. It was awesome watching the fans kind of look up at the board. And then every time there's going to be a bad call, everybody's going to be tapping their helmet, right? Their imaginary helmet.
Mhm.
I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be strategy to using it. And I know that a lot of the broadcasters were talking about it. Certain guys, like I'm sure Seiya Suzuki, who has a great eye, Ian Happ, who has a great eye. I'm sure they got a green light. You're going to think about situations. You're not going to do it nobody on 2 outs. Don't waste the challenge on that unless you're 100. Like I said, the only guys I would give that the green light to would be Seiya and Ian Happ. Other than that, and Alex Bregman would be on that list. Other than that, don't do it in that situation. But it is going to be, to me, I think it's going to be fun to kind of watch how they use it, who can use it, and when. And again, just in that situation, meaningless now. But imagine if that was an important game and you had 2 runners on, 2 on, and you're 1 run down, and all of a sudden you got rung up on that call.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It completely changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And if you look
it'll be very interesting to see how the skipper and the hitter and the pitcher and the catcher, how they all go about using this.
if you look at the minor leagues, it wasn't called that often. It wasn't like it was happening 10 times a game. It was happening a small amount, but it was happening in big situations.
Well, that's the key. You got to get it right. You have the technology, Crawl. You got to get it right.
Right. And so it's there. And I think it's going to increase fan engagement. I think that's going to be one of the things. And so, Dustin, I got to say, I was a little disappointed. I came on the show and you haven't said anything about my new
Well,
hat,
I was
buddy.
waiting. I was waiting for, I knew it was part of what we were going to discuss. We saw a picture of this hat, not on your head, but now you actually have it. So, who did you, how did you order it, Crowley? Or how did you get a hold of that?
I went to the Cubs store at Wrigley this weekend.
They already had that. So they've got the spring training cap at Wrigley Field. So what do they have? They have the front of the place opened up?
Oh, everything's opened up. Everything at Gallagher Way's open. They have a Hattie B's Chicken, which just opened up, which was packed. That's going to be competing with Raising Cane's across the street. We're going to have a little bit of chicken war going on, but everything's there. They have all the 150th anniversary stuff there. They have the spring training stuff. So I had to pick up my hat because I wanted to have it. I didn't want to buy it at the store. I thought it would be maybe a little bit more expensive when I go out to Mesa, but I got
the hat. You're going to break it in a little bit. I love it.
It's a flex fit, so I'm going to break it in a little bit. It's really, really nice. But Dustin, as awesome as this hat is, did you see this new era quote clubhouse hat? I don't know. No. Somebody's got to lose their job over this one. This is absolute trash. If this is the official MLB clubhouse collection. if you're taking a look, this is about as ugly a hat as I've seen. If one of your family members was responsible, I apologize, but I'm not going to take it back. This is a blue hat, and it looks like a tiny rubber square with a blue C on it. It just looks so ugly and unnatural. Like I haven't seen a player wearing it, or if I have, maybe I just tried to like forget about it. Have you seen an uglier hat? I mean,
no, but I feel like I've seen a hat like this. Like the Bears have a hat like this. I feel like some men's like higher end clothing gear has a hat like this. So I think they're just borrowing from another very popular hat in recent memory. I don't like it. I like your spring training cap way better than I like that hat.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just not made for me. Maybe I'm getting too old. You watch a lot more sports. I haven't seen that like that. To me, it just looks, it looks too small. Like just everything looks small on it. Like it's a tiny little red with a little blue C.
Yeah. But I think more and more people are into the simple and clean. I hear a lot of clean comments from the younger crew. They like their stuff clean, Crawley, clean lines, clean designs. I'm not a fan, but that's okay. They're not trying to get me to buy the hat. You know who else's hat's not going to sell very well? The Twins. They have a bad team, and now they've got some bad injury news.
Yeah, if we're taking a look here at the injury news, it's you got Joe Ryan was scratched from a scheduled start on February 21st because of back tightness, and that's going to suck. He's going to miss a few starts, but they figure he's going to be ready for the start of the season. But Pablo Lopez will not be as fortunate. The Twin starter, who he was tied for the Cubs a lot of times. It seemed like Jed really wanted to get him on the Cubs. He is going to have to undergo Tommy John surgery. Speaking of Tommy John surgery, Dustin, did you get a chance to listen to Justin Steele? It sounds like he seems very positive. He's
pumped up. Yeah. Seems maybe a little ahead of schedule. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But we talked about this before. When we talk about the Athletics top 50 free agents, there were at our last recording 5 players left, but Rhys Hoskins just signed a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Guardians. So there's 4 left. Kopech at 50, Scherzer at 41, Zach Littell at 37. But we talked about Lucas Giolito, number 30. Now you got an injury to Pablo Lopez. I don't think the Twins are going to spend the money, but it just shows you that if the Twins were a contender, which it doesn't look like they're going to be, they've literally sold the farm and everything else. If you were a contender, though, and you lose a guy to Tommy John, Lucas Giolito is sitting right there.
There waiting. Yep, right there waiting.
Now, Dustin, there just to let our listeners know, we do have a couple games coming up. And again, no way to watch them. So watch on MLB Game Day and we can pretend that we can watch them. But they are going to take on the Padres tomorrow, 2:05 at Sloan. They're going to take the Rockies on Wednesday at Sloan. And then on Thursday at Tempe Diablo against the Angels, all 2:10, not broadcast anywhere. I know if we see it, we'll put it on social media. I'm sure the score will put it up. I'm sure I will put it up. And we'll just get it. Make sure our listeners have a chance to see it.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a little taste of every single game. But that's also why we're here, right, Crawley? We're here to help fill in the blanks when these types of things happen. So glad the Cubs finally got on the board for that first dub. That's important to me anyway. I know that doesn't really matter, but you hate to see the team, go too far down the 0-4 hole. Anyway, Crawley, that is a wrap. Don't forget to listen, download, review, subscribe to the Fly the W podcast. Email us your thoughts, questions. We got lots of them right now. Let's try to answer them together. Crawley's Clubhouse, gmail.com. And you can continue to watch us by subscribing to the Crawley's Clubhouse YouTube channel. Crawley will be back with everybody on Thursday live, and the folks can listen anytime after that.
Absolutely. I'm ready for spring training. I got the hat. We got the W. Go Cubs.
It's all over.